Hey, it's Tori, and welcome back to my channel. Today we welcome Emily from Suldusk to the channel. How are you doing today, Emily?
Good, thank you so much, Tori.
I'm good. I'm so glad that we finally get to talk. I know there was a few technical difficulties the last time, so I apologize for that on both sides. I got your email like 10 minutes after, and then I sat waiting, and I was like, oh no. So I appreciate you coming back for round two.
Thank you so much for having me and for your patience.
So, your second album, Anthesis, came out March 1st, of course, via Napalm Records. I want to talk about the band name first, Suldusk. How did you come up with that? And does it hold a personal meaning to you?
I think at the time I was just looking for something that would reflect, I think, the energy of the music. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just a combination of, I mean, the word dusk is, that liminal time between, you know, an end of the day to
Mm-hmm.
into the night, that sort of that that time. And it's usually can be a very heavy, melancholy kind of time for a lot of people. And so yeah, it's a little bit of that. And the soul, I think in I can't remember what language it was, but there's a reference to the sun, the soul. So I just thought it's a good sounding combo of sounds, and yeah, that's kind of the origins of the
Yeah,
name.
I really like it because I do feel it fits your music. Because before the interview, I did spend my time just familiarizing myself more with the album, and I really love how you're able to create, you have the beauty and the calmness, yet you still have that harshness as well. How do you go about finding that right balance for your songs?
I think it's just been a very organic evolution of what I did. For a long time, I just didn't want to do music. I just put it to the side and then
Hmm.
started doing music because I discovered I still it was still in me, and but I could never really reconcile the like I have such vast um, connection to like the different music that I listen to, but I always gravitated to intimate stuff, and then I'd always gravitate to metal. So I mean, how do you you just do what's in your soul, and for me it all came back to music, like music that was acoustic based. And when I heard a band called Agalok, that was really what made inspired me to synthesize the two sounds, because they were so innovative in what they did, where they did whispers to fry sort of screams. So the whole palette, the vocal expressive palette, was so cohesively done by them that I thought this can be a space that I can explore. So that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah. No, I really love that. I love how some parts are very acoustic, they're very calm, and then you just hit us in the face with that harshness. It's kind of like that the harsh reality of life sometimes, sometimes you're it's just very calm, and then something just unexpected comes out and hits us, and it's like, where did that come from? And I feel like that relates a lot to your music, and I really loved the flow of the album itself as well. um, how have you found the response from your fan base or from new people that are discovering you with this album?
It's it's so awesome that because it's a bigger label that the album is being released through. It's connecting, it's reaching a bigger audience, and people, they when they love it, they let us know, and it's great because being in Australia is you're so. I mean, I know with technology it's fantastic and it's the best thing, but still to tour and to promote the album IRL is very, it's challenging. So when people are connecting with it and they're reaching out and telling you, um, it's really fantastic. There's always going to be people that when the first single Anthesis, which you beautifully reacted to, it was so that we loved that so
Thank you.
much. You felt it. We could feel you feeling it, and that was so
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, some people were like, oh, and then the artwork was a little bit too much for the people that were expecting something like the first album, which was
Hmm.
quite gentle, still, a little bit of a foray into harsh vocals. But this one, I just wanted to explore the brutality that is always underneath. As you said,
Hmm.
it is life. You've got to have for me, it's emotional expression is you've got to go there. You've got to go
Yeah.
to the dark places, but you've got to have the beautiful places to balance it out. Otherwise, it's for me, it's too much.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And like, I do love heavier stuff too, but then I also like that little bit of respite and reset, which, like, I feel like yours is a good balance with that. And like, I can still eh, easily connect to it and feel, especially those calm, like I said in my reaction, it was so eerily calm that it was making me a little uncomfortable, but I kind of liked that. And I liked how you threw me off that way because I haven't really come across something that's similar to what you do. So it was really nice to discover you and awesome to chat with you now. I know you started out the band as a solo project to begin with. How did that grow into becoming like a full band that Suldusk is today?
I still have to pinch myself. I have to be honest. It's yesterday. So our drummer Frankie appeared on the album. He's gone on to do some. He wants to explore metalcore sounds, and he's in a project. And we wish him well. He's gone off to do that. So we're interviewing for drummers at the moment, and this particular drummer that we were talking to yesterday is like technical death metal background because some of the speed of the blast beats you have to be in that realm to be
Mm-hmm.
able to do that pace to do it clearly and to also be able to do dynamic stuff. So it's an eclectic kind of person that we're looking for. And I was even pinching myself yesterday speaking to someone with a tech dev background, and then two of the other musicians have also come from that background. And I think to myself, how did this happen? And I think it's because here in Melbourne, there are a lot of musicians and they're people that have been playing in bands for a long time and they love it. It's their passion and they've mastered their instrument. And I've just been lucky enough to be in the right place in the right time and to have these people gravitate to the project and the project to just get momentum. And I'm still a little bit, I'm going, how did this happen? I'd almost packed away music forever. I've just kind of gone, I'm just not going to, be bothered. There's just too much ego, too much in mine included. And I just kind of went, no, I don't want to deal with that. I just do music for my own therapy. And then to have it becoming this um, this this entity where there are such gifted people in the project and whose gifts I revere, like they're just at that level, they're just at that incredible level that yeah, I just go, okay, well, I must be doing something right. So
Yeah. No, I totally understand it. I think sometimes life has a way of saying this is where you're meant to be right now, and you know you're going in that right direction, and even though sometimes you have to pinch yourself, because you feel like how is this happening, because like you say, you were on the verge of giving up, and now you're signed to Napalm, you're bringing out your second album, that it's a full, well, apart from the drummer, which hopefully you guys will find soon, it's a full band itself. It's, you know, it's just crazy how life puts us in these situations at times. I feel the same way, like with my channel personally, like getting to interview artists like yourself. I'm like, how did I get to this point, you know?
It's awesome. And I think when somehow if you just chase what you love, not even chase, attract. You
Yeah,
attract the goodwill, and if it's done with heart, I think things just unfold. And yeah, it's a gift. And yeah, I'm glad to be speaking with you today. Synchronicity.
definitely, definitely. For somebody who hasn't listened to the album or is just checking you out because, of course, like YouTube recommendations and things like that, could you go into detail in your own words what the album is about and the sound and things like that?
Um, okay, so it's if you like acoustic based metal, you know, that because it's in the minor key, and a lot of it is quite atmospheric. So if that's something that people are interested in, that's a gateway into this sound, because everything for me hinges on the acoustic side of things, being able to have some dynamic where you can make it as intimate and then as epic as you can. So to be able to combine the different styles, it's emotional music too. Uh, the themes are not, you know, it's a nice day kind of thing. It's more grief and acceptance and um, celebration of nature and questioning of human nature. And yeah, it's you know it's the bigger themes, I think, but there's also light moments there, like shimmering guitars that
Mhm.
for me always, like the track Crystalline is my ode to the ocean, because nature as a force is such a powerful inspiration for me as a place of solace and and power. It's just yeah. So there's a lot there, and I would if there's one thing I would say, I would recommend you as a listener, you just find a time to just try and listen to the whole thing, because
Mhm.
I think it's a little bit more um it's one of those albums where it makes more sense to listen to the whole journey. And yeah, that's how I would describe it. It's hard to yeah, it's hard to describe your own music. You just do it, you know.
Yeah, it is, and you know, it's easy for me to sit here and ask you that question, but to think of like I wouldn't know how to describe something myself that I made. It's just something that I've done with my heart and my soul, which I can tell that's what you've put into this album, and like you say that the ode to Mother Nature and specifically the ocean, like I have a full like ocean themed sleeve, and it's just water and the sea, and that sort of life just has a way of calling to me, and it does something, it soothes my soul, and so I definitely connect with you on that level. What is your creative process like when you do write music?
Usually it will start with an acoustic. That's usually the go-to, and it's just noodling around, and there's a little bit of I don't overanalyze the process. I just let it happen, and if there's a progression that I kind of if we find each other, the guitar will reveal something to me. It's like, oh, hello. What's this? What's this feeling that you're creating with this pattern? And it would be something that will just hook me in and make me want to explore the fretboard a little bit more and see what happens, what emotions are stirred, what is it that it's trying to tell me. And there is a little bit, I am a little bit kooky in that I do believe that there is an element of, I don't know what it is, magic. There's something there that I don't know what it is. You channel something. Um, but it could also be the other two guitarists who have been writing, or they'll come up with a progression, and there'll be something those sounds evoke, and we want to sort of delve into it and push it along, or just let it unfold in some way and shape and build on it with other instruments. And that's the most enjoyable part of music. And I think most artists would probably agree that the creative side is the most exciting, because you creating something out of nothing, and
Hmm.
it's like um, audio art, if it's done with collaboration, where there's editing, and refining and building. It's just the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah. Because you find it like, and I'm sure you get inspired by so many different things, like you say, like Mother Nature and just life in general, and then finally being able to get those ideas out and then into music form. It's got to be like a nice release in a way, if that's the right way to go about to say.
Definitely. I think music is, for me, it's my medium, and it's a good way to channel a lot of the frustration and poignancy of life.
Hmm.
It's, I don't know. I mean, I love writing as well. I've always written, and I'd love to explore that down the track. But you get an instant gratification with music, where it's an immediate way to connect with yourself and with others. And there's something, I feel very grateful that I have that in me to be able to connect with people in that way.
Yeah, it's a massive gift, like because I have no musical talent whatsoever, so of course I rely on people like you that gifts us this musical journey, if you will, that we go on throughout our lives, and we discover all of these new artists. And honestly, if it wasn't for my channel, then I would not obviously be sat here speaking with you today. And so I wanted to know also, like, who or what inspired you to start that musical journey and become a musician yourself?
Well, let me first say that if it wasn't for music files like that's huge. We need people like you who are passionate about music, and sharing music, and sharing your emotional responses, which is what you do. It's so good. It's
Thank you.
awesome. So yeah, for me it was I don't know, I think it was my escape. I mean, you get this answer from a lot of people. Music was my escape from
Hmm.
the reality of my life, and just being able to go into that world, and then exploring safely, like emotions, which in my real life I couldn't really. It was not modeled to me. I wasn't around that. But music
Hmm.
was a safe place to be able to release stuff. So for me, though, like as a musician, it started in the weirdest way, where as a kid I was chosen to be in a choir, and my school was a very it was a very run down, poor, area.
Hmm.
But music just being able to harmonize with other voices, it just took me into this place I'd never been before. And I went, what even is this? And
Yeah.
how can I stay in that place? And that's probably what hooked me right into that frequency of existence where I just went like goosebumps and everything doesn't matter because there's that. And so I think that's what I've been kind of chasing now for the rest of, like even
Yeah.
when I parked music and and I'd hear snippets of the song and I'd be like going into that zone again. It was always in me. I denied it for a while and I just went, oh, I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm just going to go into that and see what unfolds. And here we are.
Here you are releasing, well, it's already released, but your second album, and it's just, I had a similar experience with that. I was also chosen to be in a choir. I never like pursued it or anything in like my primary school. And I think that's probably what kickstarted it off for me as well. Just hearing, because the voice of course is an instrument in itself, and being able to harmonize with all of these different layers that people have, and it's just fascinating. And it's like you say, goosebumps, and I guess that's why I started my channel, just because I as you see, it takes all of me. I put everything into every reaction, and because that's just what music does for me, and I guess that's what it does for you too.
Yeah, totally. It. I always say you can run, but you can't hide. If you're into
Yeah.
something, if something is your passion, you can try and deny it, but it will always present itself over and over until you basically give up and just go, okay, resistance is definitely futile.
Futile.
So just
Mm-hmm.
do it. Just do it. That's my recommendation
So I'm not going to keep you any longer because I know you are busy. Do you have any last words for fans watching this, or people who are now just discovering you, just words of thanks and things like that?
I'm just beyond grateful. I'm beyond grateful to be able to talk about the music and for people to be responding to it the way you are, and if they're finding some value in the listening experience, that just warms my heart. And I know with my band, we're just very excited because the next stage is touring, and we're talking about how to do that. And we're also halfway through writing the third album. So
Oh, nice.
it's all systems go, it's all going great. So I'm very, very grateful to everyone who's connected with the album and for the support that we're getting. So yeah, gratitude.
Well, thank you so much, Emily, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and chat with us. It's been an absolute delight. Everybody, of course, I will leave Suldusk's and Emily's information down in the description so you can go ahead and follow them, subscribe to the channel, and of course, the link where you can order the album. Again, Emily, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Tauri. We appreciate you.
Bye, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to become a Taurian. Speaking of becoming a Taurian, all of my social media links and my Discord link are down in the description. We'd absolutely love to have you come hang out in the Discord community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Rock on.